Fabulous. Thank you so much. So, looking at this screen, everybody, I would love your patience, please. This is the first time I've used Butter, and it's all new to me. I'm very, very old and don't know technology very well. I try. Sometimes I succeed, not always. So, being a creative brand, I love the fact that May introduced us as a creative brand. And this is where I would like to start with everybody here. I'm not sure if everybody's actually even heard of the Financial Times. Who has actually heard of the Financial Times? Yeah. Oh, we've even got a poll here. We've got a couple of people have. Click on that button if you've heard of us. 2, 3 people have heard of us. You can say no if you haven't, if you have no idea who we are, because that's why we're here today. Okay, 3 brave people, 4 brave people. No, thank you very much for your honesty. Oh, and another person. That is great. And 2 people who aren't too sure yet as well. So thank you. I think we'll end the poll there. So for those that have heard about the Financial Times, that is really great. I'm so glad you have some of the people on the call, because with a young audience, it is an area that we're actually struggling to pull people into as well. For those that have heard, and for those who are not sure, but you want to be very brave and have a risky guess, what kind of industry do you think that we're in at the Financial Times? What industry do you think we're in? And it's a very open-ended question. You can say anything at all, anything that comes to your mind. And I'll repeat the question for those that are journalism, media, fantastic. Finance. Now, Alexis, that's a really honest answer. So maybe financial journalism would be the answer to that as well. And finance, yeah, we've got that. Thank you. And can't quite see what the next answer is. I love this system, Butter, but that end of poll thing there covers up that
But
last.
you've got to scroll down, Jackie. And
Thank you for keeping me on my toes, mate. I may need direction as we go along. Journalism, newspaper. Absolutely. You are all really spot on. Thank you very much, mate. That's great. So, for those that are just joining us, thank you for joining. Oh, we have Kate at the door as well. Thank you for everybody for joining us. My name's Jackie Dobson, and I work for the Financial Times, and I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Partner. And I have a remit of early careers and creating programs to entice young people, creative, talented people like you, to consider working at the Financial Times. I have one more question before we go into this as well, and especially for those that have just joined us. Now, for those who know the Financial Times, know a little bit about financial journalism and our business news coverage, uh, what is a typical FT employee? What do you think a typical FT employee looks like? What's your preconceptions? And I must admit, before I came to the FT, I had a thought about what I thought an FT employee would look like. And I want you to be really honest, be brutally honest if you want to. Brutally honest is good, because I'm going to tell you what I thought beforehand. You don't think there is a, well, you're very rounded, Martina. That's a very good answer. There's not a typical employee. Any other answers? Any advance on that? I think, Martina, you are exactly right. Busy, rich, and corporate. Mm-mm. I might be busy, but I don't think I'm very rich and corporate. But you're right. And that is exactly what I thought it was going to be as well. I love these emojis on there as well. They're fantastic. Keep them coming. It keeps me engaged as well. Boring, corporate, very middle class. Yep, all of those things I thought. I must be honest. And what else have we got here? Fast paced and corporate. Love it. Suits. I love that. Suits is exactly right. If we can end the poll, please, May. I must admit, before I came to the Financial Times, I was coming along for an interview, and I thought it was going to be a really boring corporate place to work. I was a little bit scared because I thought, I'm not sure if there's going to be anybody like me there. They're going to be really professional, fast paced. They're going to be go-getters, they're going to be very, very serious people. And I also thought, and this is between you and me, I kind of thought there were going to be older guys, they were going to be white, they were going to be wearing pinstripe suits, maybe very grey hair, maybe bowler hats as well, and the odd briefcase. And I thought, oh, I tend to wear DMs and leggings, so I'm not sure if I'm going to fit in there. I came for an interview and I was very pleasantly surprised by the people that work here. And I'm going to tell you more about the kind of roles and the kind of people that we have at the FT shortly. So let's make a start. So, what is the Financial Times? Okay, so here we can see three kind of lifetimes of the Financial Times. It's a very old newspaper, and here we've got a copy of the very first day that the Financial Times launched. Any guesses? Free chat. Any guesses on how old you think the Financial Times actually is? Any guesses for when it launched? I think that actually view of that first edition gives it away a little bit. Pop it in chat if you've got a guess. And there's no right or wrong guess because you don't know the history of the Financial Times. So any date that pops into your mind. When do you think the Financial Times launched? We're not being very brave. Is it the time of day? Here we go. We've got some ideas. 1890. Who thought that? Hidea, that is fantastic. 1950s to 1960s, which does seem a lifetime ago, but it's older than that. 1920s, 1890, and it. Were you doing some Googling there? 1888 is spot on. That's exactly right. So this is unless you had a very good way of blowing up that page and you were able to see the date. Yeah, yes. Okay, you just guessed. Cool. Google is my friend too. Okay, so that is the very first version. And then we see the next print alliteration, which is the pink paper, the pink version of the FT. Okay, so why do you think we went from the white version to the pink version? And I think we did that probably about 5 years after it launched. It went from white to pink. Any random guesses as to why we would change the colour to pink? What do you think? May was asking me earlier on. Stand out from the others. That is one of the reasons. There's two reasons. And that is the first reason. Stand out from easy on the eye. I like that too. Easier to read. Oh, these are coming thick and fast as well. Easier to read, easy on the eyes. Yeah, okay. So the reason why was partly because it would stand out on the newsstand from its rival papers as well. And I think it was the Financial News was its rival at the time. So the question was, why do you think it was pink for that chat question? Now, the reason it was pink was to stand out from the others on the newsstand, but also to dye paper white actually cost a lot. To bleach it white actually cost quite a lot of money. So to just make it a pale pink was a very cheap option. So we dyed it pale pink because we thought, yay, we're going to save money on the printing. Yep, the FT newspaper is pink. It's kind of a salmony pink, isn't it? But it is pink. So it saved money by dyeing it pink. But now, many, many years on, I love pink. Pink's my favorite color. No, it's not really. I think blue is, but anyway. But now, many years on, pink is actually more expensive. So it's more expensive to print on pink paper than white. But we can't change it now because it's all part of our branding. So we love the pink branding and we love our pink newspaper as well. And then we've moved on to the next iteration, which was ft.com. Yeah, we are very financially aware. We do like to save money, look after the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves and all that. We are very financially aware. So then we've got ft.com. So we have everything that was good about the newspaper online as well. So the Financial Times is very well known in the industry as a newspaper that's a trusted source of knowledge and information as one of news. So we're known internationally for our authority, integrity, and accuracy, which means we're very, very honest. Each of our news stories are actually checked 3 times over just to check that the facts are accurate. so you won't get any false news or fake news at the FT. It's all been fact checked as well. But very interested to find out about where you get your news from. Where do you get your news? Do you actually read papers? Do you watch TV? Do you use social media? Where do you get your news from? How do you find out what's happening in the world? Social media, I think that is a biggie. Social media very often, yeah. Social media, TV, social media, online articles, online social media. So are you all people that lie in bed before you get up in the morning and scroll through your phones, catching the news before you even get out of bed? I am that person. I catch up first thing in the morning, social media, and then I'm fed news stories, depending on the algorithms of the stories that I've looked at previously. So thank you, May. We can get rid of the poll now. So I kind of feel that we are all guilty of this. We are all moving away from print to online to social media. And while it has its benefits of absorbing news by social media, I think I'm actually a bit of a victim of this because I like certain news stories. And so, with the algorithms and the cookies, I'm fed more of those stories. If I actually want to go out and seek news stories, I then have to start up a new search. But I find I'm consuming a lot of stories of stuff that I'm already keen on and stories that I already know. The beauty of the print newspaper is that you can come across stories that you weren't actually looking for. Our printed version of the paper is like an in depth study, it's like a snapshot in time. And we use that for our investigative journalism for people who want to deep dive into a subject. FT.com is more update and changes on a regular basis. So we have news journalists throughout the world globally updating FT.com 24 hours a day. As the news breaks, they will then update the stories. And the news we cover aren't just stories about finance, they're news about everything that's happening in the world. So it can be about business, it can be about current affairs, it can be about scandals, it can be about so many different things as well. So it's not just financial news. Excuse me. Okay. I was just about to say next slide, but I'm in charge of the slides. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip. But who are our audience? I know we've got a couple of people here on the line that do actually read the FT, but who do you think are our audience? Do you have any idea of what kind of people read the Financial Times? Either what kind of jobs they have or middle class? Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Any other thoughts about who reads the Financial Times? Old people. We do have an old demographic, that's very true. Any other thoughts? Okay, just bear with me. Commuters, yeah, you do get commuters. Reading FT.com is easier to read while you're commuting rather than the Financial Times, because if you read the Financial Times, it's called a broadsheet, and it really is a broadsheet as well. So you take up about three seats of the train if you read it on the train. But commuters do read it. People in business, investments, middle class, white collar jobs, interested in business, financial business, economics. Yeah, all of these are true. Yasmin, tech, and business people. Okay, yeah, if we can end that poll, please. They are all very, very true. We have an audience that we know about. We have a lot of data on our audience. FT.com was the first subscription model. So it was the first newspaper that set their online version up at a cost. And because it was a subscription model, we actually find out a lot about our readers as well. So we know that the people that read our newspapers are prime ministers and presidents. They are the C suite. They are the business decision makers in their company. So these are very, very powerful people. 18, actually, it's gone up. It was 18%. It is now 20%. 20% of our audience are actually millionaires as well. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those millionaires. I do read the FT, but no, sadly not a millionaire. So these people actually have a lot of money. And when we see that newsstand in the background there, each of those newspapers has got a different audience and they therefore have a different business model. Let's think of something like the Metro, for example. The Metro is that newspaper that is given out free on the tube, and I don't know if any of you have read it, but it is jam packed full of advertising. I quite like reading it, or did before COVID. I would come in and have a peruse through it. Jam packed full of advertising because it's a free newspaper. But because its audience is scattergun, the kind of people that it reaches, we're not sure about who it reaches for its audience. Mostly commuters traveling on the tube. That's probably the most we know about it. But FT.com, we can drill right down on who their audience is, and they're very wealthy people as well. So, because we have this very wealthy audience, what I'd like to ask you is how do we make our money? How do we get our revenue at the Financial Times? We definitely don't put all of our eggs in one basket. So we've got different methods of making money. Now, I'm not sure if we've got a poll for this or not, May. I don't think we have a poll for this, do we? No. Fabulous. So how do we make money? Anybody got any ideas? Just a free chat. Just pop in the chat function if you can think of a way that the Financial Times makes its money. Advertising, very good. Yeah, that is one way. Ads, yeah. Subscription and sponsors, yes. Ads, yes. You're all right, yeah. Subscriptions, yes. Investors, donations. Oh, I don't think we get many donations, but I like the idea. I think we might try and tie that in somehow. Okay, so we touched on it before. We have a very wealthy audience, and that means we can actually charge quite a lot for our advertising. On the previous slide, and I'm just going to ping back to it for a moment, can you see these wonderful brands here? The Rolexes, the Cartier, this fancy car, which I've got no idea what kind of car it is. It's a car, it's got four wheels. I don't know much about cars. But these are all very, very high end luxury goods. And these are the goods that our audience, because a lot of them are millionaires or CEOs or prime ministers and presidents, they can afford these goods. So that means the Financial Times will carry adverts to reach that audience. So, like the Metro has loads and loads of advertisements covering its pages, and it doesn't make money because of the cost of the newspaper. It makes money from its advertising. That's why it's jam packed. Because we have lots of different ways, we can be a bit more selective. We don't have as much advertising in the newspaper. We have specific slots that we fill and then we charge a premium for them. So let's have a look at how much we make from print advertising, for example. If I was to put an advert for one day in the Financial Times newspaper, I want some random guesses as to how much you think it would cost you. How much should it cost you to put an advert in the Financial Times for one day? Have a random guess. Bearing in mind the next day it will be chip paper. £10,000. May's guessed £10,000. Martina has guessed £5,000. Kate, £5,000 to £10,000. Kelly, £20,000. You come and work in our print team. Okay, so to give you some idea, I'm going to elaborate a little bit here. If we put an advert for Rolex in there, our customer, which is Rolex, will then be able to reach an audience that might buy a Rolex watch. If Rolex put an advert in the Metro or the Sun newspaper or the Mirror, they're very unlikely to get anybody buying a Rolex watch there. So, for one day at the Financial Times, an advert, a full page advert on page 5 will be £157,000. So that's I love May's face. The jaw dropped. She was catching flies. £157,000. Yep. But that's because we have an audience that can actually, they will buy things that appear in the FT. They have money to spend. And that's so valuable to advertisers. It is a huge amount of money, isn't it? Amazing. Oops, light's gone out because I'm not moving. 1 minute. Yay! This is the joys of being downstairs in level -1. It might see that I'm moving in a minute. Anyway, I'm going to continue. So, print advertising is one way. Yeah, that's true. The more people the influencers have, the more reach they have, and they get paid for their advertising as well. It's true. So we have print advertising. We have the same for online because it's the same kind of audience to reach. We have sponsored areas as well, which somebody did mention sponsorships as well. We have events. We have FT Live, which have a huge amount of events, and they have amazing speakers, maybe like Barack Obama, they'll bring on. And so influential people will pay a lot of money to attend an event with Barack Obama speaking. So we have lots of different ways of making money. And this is why we have this picture, but we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. Because, and I'm going to wave again to turn the lights on, it's not knowing that I'm here. Because, for example, when COVID struck, we were very, in a way, quite safe because although the print sales went down, and so our print advertising revenues went down, our online subscriptions went up. And so our online advertising sales went up as well. So one countered out the other. So we're very robust in our business model, and our business model is how we make money. No, I don't know. Now, that's a really good question. I think the metro probably was in trouble because its circulation must have stopped. I mean, there was nobody traveling on the tubes. I have no idea. But and I haven't seen it actually since I've been back on the tube. So maybe that's worth investigating, isn't it? That's worth a little Google search from someone. So we've talked about the kind of people at the FT, and we've said actually it's not what you expected, the type of people aren't there. But what kind of roles are there? So, working in media, I would expect that a lot of people, because we create a newspaper, a lot of our employees work in editorial and are journalists, but it's not the case. Only 30% of people at the FT actually work in editorial teams. The rest of us work in the business of news. So that can be the technology teams, it's all the teams that go to support the Financial Times being delivered either online or on print. So we have lots and lots of different roles, and I'm going to show you some of the roles that we have here. So these are the kind of roles there are. As we're a global organization, like any large organization, you're going to have teams like HR, like payroll, like security, like reception. We're going to have marketing, customer care teams, commercial. But we have an amazing product and technology team. Our product and tech team is really big. I think there's about 300 people in the London office alone that work in product and tech. And these are the real bright sparks. They create new apps, they create new products, and this is all for our online version of ft.com. They come up with new ways of engaging with our audience as well. So, a fantastic team. Social media content creation, absolutely. There are roles in that, and they're working in our marketing and our comms team this year. And we have our events team. Now, I touched on events as well. We have a whole events team that put on nearly 300 events a year. So they are very, very busy and they work in different areas of the world as well. The FT, we have big offices in the UK, in the US, and in Asia as well. We do internships, Alexis, as well. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my role that leads in with early careers in a short while. Of course, we have the editorial team, but 30% work in editorial, the rest of us don't. Commercial team, we have hundreds of people working in the commercial team. All in all, I think there's about 2,500 people at the Financial Times, and they're spread across all of these different kind of roles in all of the different regions. US office has got a couple of hundred people. Asia has got about 400 people in our Manila office. We have people in Tokyo, we have people in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Australia as well. So we have all of these wonderful different roles. So there's lots of different opportunities. So when someone says to you, would you like to work in media? They're not necessarily saying, do you want to work in journalism? Because there's all of these other roles here, and they're all exciting new roles, mostly working with young, creative, innovative teams at the Financial Times. But what's my role? What do I do? Now, you've already asked me a few questions leading up to it, wondering what on earth does Jackie do all day, apart from spending time chatting to amazing young people like you, and also finding ideas from you as well, because it's a two-way street. This is where I get my motivation and my ideas is from you as well. So I've created like a portfolio, so lots of different programs of early careers programs. We have a work experience program, which is all online, which is 5 days a week at the moment because it's online. And we look at creating a business plan. We deliver workshops. We encourage you to network with FT employees and ask them lots of grilling questions. The students are having this week have grilled a lot of people and found out about how they got to the Financial Times and what their career journey has been. So the work experience is deliberately online at the moment, and it also gives people a taste not only of the world of work, but what it means to work in a home life blended kind of way, because that's the way we see moving forward, to work flexibly and remotely as well as team building all online is what we all need experience of right now as well. So people who come on the work experience program actually get that first step up and have experience of doing that already. We've taken part in the government Kickstart program. Last March, we had 30 young people come to the FT via the Kickstart program, and we managed to retain 11 of them and persuaded them to stay with us. This year, that's just been launched again, and that is now closed. It's now finished, but we did manage to take on another 13 young people. FT News School. Now, this is something that we're going to be requesting applications for later in the year in Q4. FT News School is a series of workshops online over 2 weeks, and it's from 6:30 till 8 o'clock in the morning. And we bring speakers in from around the media world. So you might have people from Facebook, maybe from Google, and they all talk about their area that they work in, and they share with you things that you might like to know about getting into the industry, and also what their day jobs are, what a day in their life looks like. At the end of that 2 weeks, we then offer you an opportunity to attend the graduation ceremony. It probably will be online again this year, where we ask each of our young people to create a 1 minute video of why the news industry needs their voice. All of these videos are then put together and shown to an invited audience of media leaders so they can come in and watch you. And it's almost like a bit like a video CV. So it's like your video calling card, just a chance to promote you. And we actually have a copy of one of these, which I'd really like to show you the quality of it and the creativity of it. So that would be amazing. So here we go.
The news and media industry needs my voice because from a young age I've aspired to tell the stories of those we don't hear enough about. I've gone my whole life with little to no representation in the media, and I intend on placing myself into the narrative. All that my young, ambitious self wanted was to be a storyteller, and someone who uncovered the truth. Ever since I was little, I ensured to put myself in positions that challenged me, but also brought out the best in me, and that is why my place is in the news and media industry. Fast forward to today. Thanks to the news school, I now know how to use my voice to the best of my ability, and my experience with the FT has narrowed my path and also widened my horizons, making it easier for me to make it to where I want to be in the future. My future has never been clearer, and the knowledge that I've obtained from this course has left me with a plethora of new and exciting ideas and aspirations. Being more well-informed has encouraged me to embark on a journey to continue telling underreported stories and bringing light to situations that the current media doesn't address. The Financial Times is a hub for opportunity, and I'm happy to say that I've been lucky enough to have the chance to explore it and learn from various different people in the industry who I see a bit of myself in. I'm looking forward to seeing where this path I've embarked on takes me, and I hope you can join me.
Favorite videos. So Yay. So once all of our videos are put together, we have a fantastic graduation ceremony as well, and share these videos with industry leaders. Oh, I'm really glad you like it. I love these little emojis floating. Thank you so much. So after the graduation, each of the people that attended are given a media industry leader mentor as well for 6 months. So they have a mentor for 6 months. We organize work experience for them. And then as opportunities arise in the FT, we will send them those details of these opportunities, maybe internships, early careers roles as well. So the New School is a great, I actually think it's our flagship program. It went down so well in the UK that we expanded to the US. And this year we're going to do UK, US, and Asia as well. So we love New School. We also deliver lots of workshops. This year alone, we've delivered workshops to, I think, around about 470 young people, where we create bespoke workshops for a group of young people. And it can be anything from meeting the FT employees to understanding about something that the FT does specifically, or even things around interview techniques. So we can create a bespoke workshop on any kind of subject as well. We also have internships and outreach and the careers fairs as well. Regards internships, we are now going to be working very closely with May because we love your platform. We absolutely love the new Eric app, and we're going to be starting to populate the Eric app with our internships. So somebody asked the question about internships, saying like, do we have any? Yes. We also have early careers opportunities as well. I'm going to be starting to send May these, and they're going to be uploaded onto the Eric app. So do follow us on the Eric app. When you do find us on the Eric app as well, you'll find out that ft.com, I do things for university students as well. We do bespoke workshops and work experience programs for university students. Who are early careers opportunities for? Is it the same as graduate? Well, the thing is, it's not, it's for early careers and opportunities. You don't have to be a graduate. You can have maybe chosen a different route rather than going to university to attend our programs as well. What the FT is after in its young people that are joining the FT is, for some areas, sure, some areas you may have to have a degree to apply for. But other areas, when it's the first step and it's the early careers, what we're looking for is curiosity. What we're looking for is passion and transferable skills. You may have had a job maybe in a shoe shop at the weekends, which is what my son used to have while he was at university. And just think of all those transferable skills you pick up within a shoe shop, all that customer handling, customer facing skills as well. So transferable skills, passion, and curiosity are the three big things we look for in our early careers roles as well. FT.com is free for students and schools, for students aged 16 to 19 years. And I think there's all details of that on the app as well. So do follow us on the Eric app. And I'm here now, so if there's any other random questions that you have, I'm very happy to take any questions at all. Yay! I love that.
Thank you, Jackie. Oh my God, that was so good. I learned so much. I thought I knew about the FT, but actually, yeah, you've opened my mind. I want to work at the FT now.
It's a great place. Come and join us, May. I know you won't leave the Eric app. You have such an amazing time. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Kelly.
I
You're
love
very
the
welcome.
facts as well. Like we've all learned. Is the Eric app only for students? Well, no, it's basically for anyone who wants to get into the creative industries. It is very focused for entry level though, so we probably don't have like mid or senior roles. But no, you don't have to just be a student studying. You can come off. You can also. Oh,
hang on. Let me have a read of this one. Okay, let's have a look.
You're not 10.
Oh, you're not 10 years old.
Oh, you have 10 years experience.
You have 10 years experience. Okay. 10 years old, business and looking for a role in product management. Ping me an email afterwards.
Oh,
Ping me an email.
Looking for a year in industry. Yeah, say that. Say I'm looking for you in industry.
But they talked about like their internship programs and stuff like that.
We
Don't
also
specify
have.
your own industry. Just specify.
Oh, Alexis, are you trying to say? Oh,
I think someone was off mute by
Oh.
mistake. But I would say that for any of you people on the call, because we have a select few, if you're interested in finding out any more of these, either go to the Eric app and find out a little bit more, or ping me an email. Shall I pop my email address in the chat? Dare I do that? Am I going to be inundated and regret this? Let's see if I can master chat. Just see if I've spelt my name correctly. There we go. That's my contact details. Please feel free to ping me an email. I don't mind if I'm inundated. I'd much rather be inundated by young people than others. So please do ping that to me. I'm very happy to answer any questions, because sometimes you get off a call like this, you think, oh, I wish I'd asked such and such, or maybe that's just me. But please feel free to ping me any emails about any questions.
Oh, we're so happy everyone's enjoyed it.
Oh,
you can learn so much. You can learn so much in just half an hour.
I'm feeling the love. Look at this. I don't want to go. I want to stay here all evening.
I actually had a last minute poll.
Wait, just before you do the poll, Kate's just asked, where are we based? We're based right next to St Paul's Cathedral, so the middle of London as well. And I don't tend to come into the office, but this week we've got a lot of stuff on, so I'm actually in the office for 4 days. Usually it's about 2 weeks.
Yay! Look at that, Jackie! Jackie and I were before this, we were like worried that everyone was going to turn off because it said the word finance in it. But I think we did our job and helped you realise how creative,
Look at that. Alexis has sent us a lovely, lovely moving heart doing a swivel. I love it. Wow. You're very welcome, everybody. Remember to drop me a line if you've got any questions. I'm very happy to hear from you.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys. Well, yeah, leave if you need to. We'll stay on a bit more if you have any more questions.
And lovely to meet you. Thank you all for taking time out of your evening as well. It's a big ask and you made it here. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Oh, that's it. Oh, I love that little rabbit. This is so cute. I think Butter has got the thumbs up from me.
Right? Yeah. Also, how cool is Butter?
It is very good. Oh, you're very welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you stayed. You stayed to the end as well.
Yeah. Yay. I know. We're only using Butter from now on.
Yeah. I even love. Oh, you've sent an email already. Fantastic. Brilliant. Oh, okay.
Well, maybe we need to do another one in person, Jackie, later, so everyone can visit the FT offices. Maybe that'd be quite cool.
I think later on in the year, that may well be a possibility.
I've been to the FT office and the view is amazing. They have a rooftop.
Yeah, I think we ought to set up a bit of a workshop and a welcome to the FT and an introduction to the FT actually at the FT and get some people in to come and meet you.
Yeah.
Bring some other people that are far cooler than I am, that have got their finger on the pulse, Bye, Annette.